So our topic for this week is, they did it with Quidditch. What else could you do it with? Fake, made-up sports that could be done in real life. And they've done a really fantastic job with Quidditch. Although whoever has to dress in gold and be the golden snitch and run around as fast as they can, I feel really bad for you, okay? So I brought Dean in mostly because he knows a hell of a lot more about sports than I do, okay? I can't even name active NFL quarterbacks. But a way that we can incorporate stuff into like a real-life situation. So we basically got everything on Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. If you go to Wikipedia and look up list of fictional games, you'll see the whole list that we're going on. There's a whole sports section. So
feel free to join us.
Yeah, and phone lines are open. Phone numbers on the screen, 512-472-2255, I think. Our phones are working this week. We have checked them. So call in and let us know your thoughts on any of this as we go through. So I'm going to start with some of the ones that I've kind of experimented with. Thinking-wise, not actually playing. Yeah. Don't make fun of me.
Let's clarify.
All right, so the first off is this game is called 12 Ball. For those of you who are Disney Channel fans, you've probably watched The Wizards of Waverly Place, which I can't watch because it's like a reject Harry Potter with Selena Gomez. And if I have to watch Selena Gomez for more than 2 seconds, I'm probably going to gouge out my eyes, just to let you know. However, they have this really fun game called 12 Ball, and so the idea is that you're playing ping pong. And it's a cross table with 4 people, and your paddles are double-sided. And every now and then something comes up the middle and adds extra balls until you have 12 balls going back and forth for each person. Now, you want to talk about something easy to do? Right there.
Yeah,
get a bunch of ping pong tables, put them in a cross, tape 2 paddles back to back, and just have someone continually adding balls. Talk about madcap and crazy insane.
Add a bottle of tequila and it's a night.
A bottle of tequila and it's a night, right? Because
Yeah.
you apparently can't play ping pong if you're like sober.
Not when there's 12 balls involved. I mean,
Well, it's like a crazy version of like, what's that? Block break where you just go like that, it goes bloop, it breaks the blocks, and all of a sudden you got like 3 and 4, and it gets all crazy. Can you imagine that with double-bladed like paddles? You'd be like, what da 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 da. I mean, there's got to be some people who could really do that hardcore.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, so that was our first of the list, was 12-ball ping pong. Next up, now I don't remember this from Star Trek: Next Generation, but it's apparently a sport called Anbo Jitsu, where it's basically MMA, but you're blindfolded, and you have like a motion sensor that picks up people around you and beeps if you get closer or farther.
So you're like a bat.
Like a bat, basically, with sonar, and you're just like flailing around like an idiot, like we would do, or yeah, flailing around. So how could we do this?
Is that how you fight?
Yeah.
No fist movement whatsoever?
Well,
okay.
not in this one, because you don't want to like hit a plant or a bystander because you're blindfolded. So I was thinking, how would you try to pull this one off in real life? Don't cheat by looking at my notes.
Oh.
You're blindfolded and you're fighting.
I'd probably throw them into a padded room to just forego the
Okay,
plants.
do people have padded rooms all over the place?
That's just me.
No. I'm thinking you do like a Marco Polo type situation.
Okay.
Marco.
Polo.
Yeah, you know, something like
Ouch.
that. I know, right? That's my gimpy fist there. But you're blindfolded. And you've got those sock 'em boppers, those big inflatable things.
Yeah.
And you're Marco Polo, first person to go down, you lose.
Or you could even have those noodle things that they have.
Yeah, you could do noodles, but that's like,
That could hurt.
well, it wouldn't hurt, but it's kind of cheating because you don't
Have
have
you
to
been
actually
hit with one in the face?
Yes, we do have a LARPing segment. They have hit
Okay,
people in the face
okay.
before.
Well, it does hurt.
Whack! No. Sock 'em boppers on your fist, blindfolded, going Marco Polo in the dark. First person that goes down loses. What do you think? Do you think it could actually happen? I actually got a Star Trek sport that we could do. I'm impressed. I'm vitally impressed that I managed to pull this one off.
You could even do it in the pool.
You could do it in the pool.
Right.
Why?
The thing with blindfolds, though, is a lot of people cheat. I know when I was a kid.
What, do you have X-ray vision?
No, you can kind of sneak out a little bit, you know.
Oh, by looking down? Like you're just looking down to see your
just
feet?
like this, looking around. You can kind of see through it. I did it when I was a kid. It's very.
So you're a cheater is what you're telling me.
So what's the next one?
We should never play sports with you is what you're telling me.
Blitzball.
All right. He's a cheater. So if you ever play with him, know that. Blitzball from Final Fantasy X. I hated Final Fantasy X. Did you even play Final Fantasy X?
I didn't really play too many Final Fantasies after 7.
7 rocks! Anyway, so basically this is like a game of soccer but underwater. Played entirely underwater. And I'm trying to think, with the rabid fan base that is out there for Final Fantasy, why hasn't someone actually thought, let's do Blitzball for real? Granted, you can't breathe underwater like they did in the game, but if you get like one of those medicine-weighted balls,
Sure.
it's at the bottom of the pool. You may be playing about 6 feet of water, so you don't have idiots drowning themselves trying to score. You make a goal at like PVC pipe and weigh it down, and you got to play underwater to try to score.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why that hasn't just been common knowledge for people.
Or if not this game, another game that has to do with Final Fantasy.
Which one?
No, just period.
Oh.
I don't see any other ones on this
Well,
list.
outside of chocobo racing, what do you do? Ride around with giant chickens? I would probably, we could do chocobo racing. You get a chicken, put a Ken doll and Barbie doll in it, and see which one wins.
They do some crazy things in Arkansas, I'll tell you that.
Obviously. So blitzball could be done quite easily. Oh, we have a caller. Hey, I think we can actually hear the caller this time. Caller. Hey, caller,
Hello?
what's up?
Yes.
So do you have an idea for a sport that we could do fake?
Yo, mama.
Oh, I could do my mama as a fake sport. What, it's like a yo mama joke type of deal?
I guess so. Don't you already do that?
We always, yo mama joke sports, they're actually kind of real, so that would be really hard to try to pull off.
Oh,
So,
no,
good
grass
luck.
throwing.
Pay attention to the rest of the show, and maybe you'll get some fun geek sports that you can do.
Okay.
So, we're going to move on to Blood Bowl. Now, this is a classic tabletop game for Warhammer.
Yes.
You got your monster team versus like your human team or your elf team, and it's football, but bloody violent. Like, anyone remember, what was that game on the Sega? It was like Carnage Football Carnage, where you like kill people and stuff.
I
Now-
don't remember the name, but it was fun.
You do remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Blood Bowl's a lot of fun. If you haven't played this on the actual PC, I would
See,
go.
I almost bought it on Steam this week because it was on sale. I was like, I'm never going to play it. I don't know anybody that plays it, so
I know plenty of people that play it. It's a lot of fun.
I'm used to tabletop games. So the whole idea is that you have monster teams with powers, and you actually attack and kill people on the battlefield for football.
Now, how does that translate in real life?
Now, okay, I had to think about this one a long time, dude, because I really wanted to try to figure out a way to make Blood Bowl work. What perfect setup for Blood Bowl would you need than LARPing rules? You've already got spell balls, you've already got rules for magic, combat, everything. You could technically get people up in costumes, have a theme team using LARPing rules to play football, and you could do an awesome Blood Bowl.
Minus the blood.
Well, granted,
I
because
mean,
you
the
can't
whole
literally
game
go
is-
hack
is-
someone
is a-
with
is
an
a-
axe.
It's a graphic game. I'm going to give you.
Did you ever play the tabletop?
I'm going to say fail on that one.
No, you could do it in real life using LARPing rules. You could. Full costume, you have your spell throwers back there. The whole LARPing system would be working perfectly for Blood
Maybe
Bowl.
have some people in the background with paintball guns shooting red paintballs.
Or you could do like red paint water balloons.
There you go.
So you could actually,
we have a little bit of blood going on.
I guess that is kind of the important
It
aspect
is
of Blood
called
Bowl.
Blood
Bowl. Yeah, I get that, but you're not going to massacre people in the middle of a park for football unless you're just that much of a fanatic. I'm looking at you.
Yes.
All right. So, Blood Bowl could be really, really fun. I think I would actually go out and play Blood Bowl.
I would love to play Blood Bowl with you.
Really?
Yes.
You make your team, I'll make my team. I have the team of
Awesome.
ogres. Who are you going to have the team of?
I don't know.
Elves?
I'm going to have that all-state team of those little kids.
Yeah, you can call them little kids. This is going to be a massacre. All right. Up next, from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Everyone loves Hitchhiker's Guide. I've seen like 5 different Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy jokes this week alone. Brachian Ultra Cricket. So, it's not cricket. Basically, it's a free-for-all game where a bunch of people are put in an arena, and people throw random stuff in, and you pick random stuff up and beat other people till they're not beatable anymore, apparently. And I was like, that was a challenge. That was a real challenge for me because LARPing, once again, comes into play here. You get LARP weapons because they're safe. They're made to hit people with. Fun noodle types, apparently, Dean's a girly man when he gets to come to hit with foam.
We're going to bring
But-
some noodles into the studio.
So you basically map out an area. Have a bunch of people bring random stuff that's safe, like water balloons, Nerf weapons, balls, the most absurd things, and just have them constantly thrown into the arena for all the combatants to get up and hit. Create a point system where every time you get hit, you lose like a point. Everyone has like maybe 5 points. You have to have referees. You know, just free for all with whatever you got. But of course, like Blood Bowl, we have to be a little bit safe with what we're doing because we don't want people to get hurt. We're not condoning going out and beating people down in the street because that's not what fan service is about. So that's your legal disclaimer. We will not take responsibility if you try to do bracky and ultra cricket on your own, but you use things that are hard like a frying pan. No, we're saying use puppies and kittens instead. Maybe they're stuffed, swinging by the tail, do whatever. I would totally hit you with a kitten, just so you know. I'll just right upside your head. It'd be pretty awesome.
You know, I'd like to see some of these games actually filmed on YouTube and send them to us as we, you know, because there's some of these games out there, you know, some of these people are going to want to play. I don't know about filming the ones underwater, but
well, they make the water cameras, so you know, I didn't even think about looking at YouTube for a lot of these things to see if people actually tried to figure out a way to do it, because you know, everyone's so
I didn't
high
even
on
think
Quidditch.
about show prep. No.
Well, no, because I was trying to get one of the UT Quidditch players to come, because we have a Quidditch team here in town, but because it's a game day, obviously, they're really busy. So, you know, they managed to do it with Quidditch so hardcore, but like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has a much huger following than Harry Potter does. Why has no one thought about a way to do bracky and ultra cricket? I mean, it makes sense to me, you know? Have fun.
You
meet
can
people.
create your own arena, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, like you use a basketball court and just have people throw stuff over the fence, because aren't basketball courts always fenced in? It's like a cage match arena.
That was a basketball stereotype. They're not all caged in, okay?
Hey, we have another
We're
caller.
not a bunch of animals.
Caller, I hope you have a better idea than the last caller who told us Yo Mama Sports. I guess they got really quiet.
It's a shy caller.
All right, we're going to
moving
continue on until they get the call back. You guys can see me when it's
Fizzball.
Fizzball. Sam and Max. Who doesn't love Sam and Max?
I love Sam and
All right.
Max.
The whole sport was baseball, but with like cans of soda and beer. So, really easy way I thought about doing it. Set an obstacle course and put a team of people on it. You line the obstacle course with all sorts of things that are fizzy and explodable, like soda and bottles of soda and beer. And you run through, and the person who gets soaked the most and hits the most wins. Baseball bat. Can you imagine just going to town on some Kool-Aid jugs and some, you know, I'm all practicing my hitting here, thinking of the 3-liter bottle like Mountain Dew. I don't want that stuff on me because it burns. But, you know.
Sounds like a senior release party.
I mean, it could be. It could very well be something
Fizzball.
interesting. Okay, caller's back.
Oh.
Yes, hi, caller.
Hey, what part did you hear from the last caller?
The Yo Mama part, apparently.
Ah, okay. What it was is it's a LARP. There's already a LARPing game of a football.
Really?
It's called Goblin Football.
Oh.
Everyone has a short sword, goes out there on two teams out on the field. You have a throwing weapon, and everyone has a short sword. If you toss the football and someone catches it, they die. You keep going until someone scores.
So
You count
it's
to 10.
like
I like
a
it.
death game of dodgeball.
Pretty much,
It's
but it's football.
But so how long do you know how long this game has been around?
It's been about 15 years, I think, something like that.
So but it's not really football, because if you get hit with the football, you're dead.
Well, okay. So how you play it is you go around, and with the short sword, you can hit the other people and kill them on a limb shot. You don't have to do a full kill, because they're goblins. Goblins are weak. But if you hit the football with your weapon and then catch it on the bounce, it doesn't count. You can bounce the football and catch it and still run like you would for regular football.
I'd like to see this game in action. Caller, what's your
Okay.
name?
So is this game played in town?
Yes, this game is actually played in town.
All right, I have a trivia question for you. Do you know where Goblin Football comes from?
Because we do. It's on our paper.
Aha! Where does it come from then?
Goblins of the Labyrinth.
Yeah, it's a book series by Terry Jones and Brad Froud. Or is that
Nice.
Brian Froud?
Brian Froud.
Sorry, I'm looking at the sideways corner.
Goblins of
Oh, my
Labyrinth
God.
fans are mad.
Well, that's pretty much I wanted to get after y'all for the LARPing.
Hey, I appreciate it.
No problem.
So thanks for
Awesome.
calling. keep the calls coming, but we just talked about Fizzball. Now, you know me being a Star Wars guy, I can't just do a Star Trek sport, not do a Star Wars sport. Well, let's face it, there's not a lot of sports in Star Wars except for one, and it was the best part of the prequel trilogy by far, except for the third movie, which I liked, pod racing. You disagree with me on this one.
Well, let's
right.
stop. Explain pod racing 2013.
All right. How could you make pod racing real? Because you've got your cockpit and your two giant engines. All right. We've had the pleasure of meeting the Austin Bike Zoo. And basically, they take a bike and they make it into almost like a float, like animals, and they go on parades, but it's a bike. So you get two bikes, mod them up to look like engines, have two people on the bikes with like a tether between them, and then chains come back to maybe like a soapbox racer or another bike, whatever you feel like doing. There are your engines, there's your pod, they're chained together, and could you imagine the hilarity of trying to dual operate two bikes and running behind them? Now tell me you don't think that would be a good idea.
I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm just, the idea of pod racing is these warp speeds. And, you know, building something to look like an engine and actually being an engine, two different things.
Okay, well, we're not going to get warp speed engines. We're going to get two people on bikes biking like their lives depend on it.
Now, what
with somebody
about
behind.
jet skis?
If you wanted to do it on the water, you could use two jet skis, but you're more likely to have an accident that way because you're on water physics, not street physics where you can turn and control yourself. If you're on water physics with waves, I'd get seasick for one. And what happens when they try to turn and it exploded? Once again, we're not condoning violence on this show. So don't go make videos of you on jet skis doing pod racings because you're an idiot if you do. But I see where you're going.
You could almost could rig a ski-doo with a raft behind it, and you could have a pod racing event.
You could do that. Like a water-based pod racing, I think would be really fun because, yeah, if you did it the right way, you do have that weird physics of being kind of in the air, uncontrollable wind gusts. But I just like the idea of two people bicycling really hard with a little tether between them trying to turn now, bastards! And you're
maybe
like
going down 360 to get the speed.
Yeah, couldn't you see that? Like that hill at that Toys R Us?
Okay.
Boom! You know, there's that giant hill at Capitol Plaza.
Pod racing with Gavin Stone. I like it.
It would be awesome. Tell me it wouldn't be awesome. Yeah, right. So, the last one I have on my list before we go to this other list is, it's a sport that makes no sense even when you watch it. Whack-Bat from the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Great movie.
Great movie. I don't even understand. I know the whole idea is there's a flaming pine cone that someone hits, and two people have to juggle back and forth while other people are running in a circle till the pine cone stops flaming. So obviously we can't burn ourselves because we don't like second-degree burns when we're playing sports because we do like to actually try to play them, some of us.
There could be like a second game with fire extinguishers.
Yeah, you could do the fire extinguisher Whack-Bat version. You definitely could do that, but I'm thinking, they make those things that are like, you can use an egg timer or like the hot potato thing. They even make this, at summertime, it's one that has like a water balloon in it, and it times and a water balloon pops. You could do something like that while people are doing crazy. The only problem is we'd have to understand how to actually play the game. Here is exactly the description, all right? There are 3 grabbers, 3 taggers, 5 twig runners, 1 center tagger, and the player at Whack-Bat.
Who's lost?
13 total players. The center tagger lights the pine cone on fire and throws it to the player at Whack-Bat. The player hits the pine cone and runs to knock the cedar stick off the crossrods. Then the twig runners dash back and forth until the pine cone burns out and the umpire calls hot box. Finally, at the end, you add up however many score downs that adds up to and divide that by 9. I seriously don't have any idea.
I'm still lost.
However, I think the general idea, someone throws like a baseball or something, you hit it, people have the timer, they start going back and forth, the person's running back and forth trying to hit that cedar post as often as possible. I think that's the best way to explain Whack-Bat in as little terms to make us confused
I feel
as
like
possible.
we keep taking the fun out of the game. The jetpacks, the fire.
Yeah, but we're on TV, so people like to do what people on TV tell them to do. So if we say go play with fire, they're going to go outside like idiots because let's face it, we're all idiots in our community. I'm saying that in a good way because we'll do anything and everything and play with fire.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I like
maybe
being alive.
instead of maybe an M80.
Yeah, like a Russian roulette M80. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, boom, you're dead. Sorry. I get to inherit your condo, though. All right, so those are the ones that I thought on top of my head could be really good. But there's like this giant list of games.
List.
And
And Goblin Football's on there, as we said
Goblin
before.
Football is on there, caller. Yeah. Suck it.
Wow, you're nice to your colors.
I know, right? You should see how I treat the rest of the staff.
Sorry.
So there's a whole bunch of things apparently from Discworld. Now, I have not read Discworld. Have you?
I have not read Discworld.
I
There was a
imagine
few
it's
really
like
cool games on there,
Tron,
though.
where it's just a whole bunch of games.
Now there is one from Discworld, and maybe people know more about it. You want to take a stab at that?
Aruga.
Okay. Aruga, A-A-R-G-O-O-H-A,
Aruga.
is troll football traditionally played with a human head.
That would be easy to do, especially at Halloween. You can find lots
Isn't
of severed heads.
didn't the Mayans do that?
I think the Mayans did that as well.
I know
yes.
that's what they did.
So football with a human head.
The Mayans played a version of Quidditch with a human head. They would take the enemy's head and they would throw it through a circle.
Yeah, wasn't it like the circles were up
Yeah,
high?
yeah.
That was the point. That was in Road to El Dorado, but now you never watch that movie the same way again that we brought it up. That could be really easy, especially at Halloween, because you can get the severed heads and you can actually like grossify it. So people that are watching you are going to call the cops. Just warning you now.
I think that would be neat. Not the cops part, but I think
Do you
just
think throwing around a severed head would
the
be neat?
severed head with the football. I think
That's
it would be
it. I
neat.
mean, you're going to punt it through the goal and everything? I
I'm
mean,
more
come on.
excited about this than any of the other ones.
Really? Severed head football. This is what gets the dude. He's like, yeah, it's, oh God, this, and you throw it and the hair's all spinning. It would be really good if you could find a way to
get a
get
troll
blood in it.
head.
Oh no, it says it's got to be a human head.
No, a troll football.
Traditionally played with a human head from Discworld.
It doesn't say human.
Yes, it
It
does.
says head now.
With a human head, you can't scratch it out in crayon and imagine it doesn't work. Easy to do. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do. What's another one? Oh, basketball. Who hasn't watched
I
basketball?
think this has been done.
It has to have been done by
They
now.
made a movie about it.
Well, yeah, and that's another one of those ones that would be super easy to do because at least you have a movie for reference for rules and how to play. As most of these things, you got to kind of make it up as you go.
You know, I think basketball would actually be a fun game in like X Games or something. As kind of like.
Well, okay, what is the X Games like the ones that aren't real sports? It's like, here, I'm
No.
going to ride a motorcycle, yeah.
No, the X Games are extreme games. That are kind of more extreme than a lot of people, want to be involved with sports. So there's the X Games. Extremely talented people are involved in the X Games, but basketball could be one of those kind of fun comic relief games in between some of the more hardcore motocross skating type things.
It could be, and I would like to see a sports things based on all these geek sports, like in a Geek Olympics would be hilarious. If we were to pull all these together in like a Geek Olympics, we just said it first. That would just be awesome. So we have basketball, what else?
Basketball. Let's see. There's this electromagnet golf.
From Brave New World. Okay, I couldn't find anything about electromagnetic golf. I imagine it involves magnets. If you guys know, give us a call. It's from Brave New World.
It
Electromagnetic
sounds
golf.
interesting though.
Well, you see, you also, I think since you do like frisbee golf, you could probably come up
Right,
with.
disc
Is
golf.
it basically? It's frisbee golf.
It's
You're
disc
throwing
golf.
frisbees. Don't even try to front up.
That's okay.
So maybe that's actually what frisbee disc golf is electromagnetic golf. I mean, I don't understand.
Or there's magnets involved.
Well, that would be like
Electromagnetic
cheating
golf.
because you just throw magnets and the magnet goes. Zzz.
You still
Hole
have
in
to
one,
get it.
done.
You'd still have to strategically hit it in a particular area. It's not like the whole field
It's like
is
saying
gonna
there's
be
strategy
metal.
to washers.
It's not like the whole field would be metal. There could be particular areas of the green that's just metal. It works. Moving on.
There's like a whole bunch of different variations of football, which I don't quite understand.
German football, Goblin football, which we talked about. Grav ball, Spartan John one.
And Halo Fall of Reach. Apparently there's a sport called Grav. Okay, you're gonna tell me about Grav ball.
Okay, now I don't know much about Grav ball.
How do they play it?
But I know Griff Ball. Have you played
Griff ball, that's the one.
Griff Ball is fun.
We met the people behind Griff Ball at RTX Expo. They weren't exactly the nicest people ever, but what is Griff Ball?
Griff Ball is basically where you take a hammer or a sword and you're
Like
in
a hammer? Like I'm gonna nail a hammer?
No, it's more of it's a huge hammer. They call it the hammer. It's massive.
Oh, from the game.
Yeah, from the game.
Okay, so you'd have to actually try to make a prop.
Yeah, you could use the noodles. Like, no, that's not going to work. You'd have to make something, a large hammer, probably about the size of your body, and they're in an arena, and they're chasing each other around, and there's a grift ball. There's an actual ball that they have, and they'll throw it around to their different teammates. But the enemies who are playing defense can come in and hit you anytime with a hammer or the sword and take you out. And
So it's like a evil game of keep away.
basically, that's it.
Do you
Called Griffball.
how have people not actually tried to do this in real life? Especially with, I mean, there's a huge prop making community based around Halo. They could make a good hammer
You know
that
what?
could
There
be
might
safe to
be.
hit people with. I'm gonna have to look that one up because that would be hilarious. Because I know it's a huge online thing.
You could use, a red ball from dodgeball.
No, they actually make griff balls. You can buy it at the RTX
Okay,
store.
well, you can use a Griffball.
I almost bought one, but I didn't know what it was.
Sorry. Dodgeballs are for dodgeball only, I guess.
Dodgeball. So then, indoor hang gliding. I don't quite understand why you want to indoor hang glide. To me, that doesn't seem like a sport at all. And the fact that I don't think anyone's even heard of the television series Benidorm probably means that this dude had no talent whatsoever. Where's the other one? There's one where you're basically on like a hoverboard and you're skeet shooting. I forget what it's called, but that could be super easy to do with Nerf guns and skateboards.
Yeah?
Seriously, you just get a bunch of people on the side to be targets, and you're going down the hill on a skateboard, and you're just Nerf gunning things.
Because those of us that thought hoverboards would be here by now.
Thank you, Back to the Future. Thank you for ruining all of our hopes and dreams.
Exactly.
It would be super easy. But
Skateboard and maybe a hockey stick is what you're saying?
no, a Nerf gun.
A Nerf gun.
Because it's skeet shooting. So
Okay.
you got your Nerf gun, so you're not really shooting people. And you just try to shoot it. It's like kind of like, how Disney does those rides where you get the laser guns. It's laser tagging through the ride. Something like that. Could be easily done. I just don't remember the exact name of it because there's like so many games on here.
Skeet surfing.
That's it, skeet surfing. How did you find it right off the back? I've been looking at it for like 2 days trying to find this damn sport.
That's why I'm an awesome host. Guest host. From the film Top Secret.
I don't even know what that is.
I've never even seen that before.
I have no idea.
Possibly parodying the biathlon. Well, I don't know. It would work though.
It would work. And so,
Skateboards and Nerf guns.
then you get the fun things like Thunderball, which is full contact basketball with hockey-like playing stuff. How could you possibly pull that off? Anything that, a lot of these are really brutal, full contact, made up sports. I'm not quite sure how you would get around the I'm going to beat the crap out of you aspect of it, outside of maybe some LARP rules. But
Well, that goes back to Blood Bowl.
that goes straight back to Blood Bowl. And so when I was going through this whole list, that's the thing I came across was there's a whole lot of violence that we were trying to find a way to bring to real life, which is I think why people went to Quidditch so easily, because it's not really that violent outside of being hit with a giant heavy ball.
Right.
But it was something simple that they can do. And so going over this list, I'm wondering how many people actually think these things can really be done.
I think
Very simply done, very easily done, and we should put them all together and have a Geek Olympics, honestly.
we should, or at least get some YouTube videos out there. And there
Yeah.
might be some. Maybe we should do some research.
We're going to have to do some research on that and try to throw together Texas's first Geek Olympics full of entirely made-up sports.
Kind of summarizing this, what is your favorite one that we've...
I want to do Blood Bowl. I'm not going to lie. I think Blood Bowl would be hilarious. What about you?
I'm going to go back to this this era ago, this troll football
Back to the severed head.
with a human head.
Back to the severed head.
Sounds fun
all
to
it has
me.
to go to. So, that's been our talk about geek sports that we can make real.